Just watch me. Just watch me.
So sorry, Wendy, can you just tell me, is this your blue team or your red team?
My blue team.
Your blue team. Okay. So as Wendy had mentioned earlier, she's got two different levels. And this is the clients where she works with them inside the center and more for seated exercises. So that's what I'm going to focus on with you, and hopefully see as well if you guys can also think about creating your own exercise to show us. So what I would like to talk to you about is sort of the benefits for the seated exercises. So just like we saw with the poles for standing or for walking, it helps to facilitate bigger movements because you do have more support for your trunk. So particularly for exercises where you are leaning forward and your client doesn't feel safe or confident about moving forward, you can just see that you can get a tremendous more amount of movement by having the poles out front to support them, or any kind of side to side movement as well. They've got the poles to support them in a seated position. And again, you can use that ledge again. How many times have we gone to see our clients doing seated exercises, or, and they're all sitting like this? Again, use that ledge, whoop, push them back up into that nice upright seated posture. It makes the exercises less abstract. So as you know, as the person progresses through Parkinson's, there is cognitive changes, and having the poles to say things like, bring the poles up to the ceiling, bring it to the side. Having a very concrete tool like this makes the program a lot more easier for your client to do. The movement is much more functional than actually just saying things like lift up your hands, bring them out to the sides. They can use the poles to help them to maneuver those movements. And again, if your client has a weaker side, the pole, again, for seated and standing exercises, provides that visual auditory cueing. You can add in making noises with the poles to add on cueing for people as well to move themselves bilateral and get that weaker side going. And we talked about using it instead of the chair. And then if you've got home exercises that you're prescribing for them to do, the poles just give them a lot more versatility about where they can do the exercises. I used to always say as a therapist, do them by your kitchen sink. But now with the poles, good sturdy chair, the wall behind them, some of your clients who are less functional now have another tool to provide them with a lot more balance. Now, if you're doing the program because you want to prevent falls, or fall prevention is part of your programming, just look at this 6 most common age-related changes that increase falls risk. And you can see we've talked about how the poles improve strength, balance, flexibility or bigger movements, endurance, and ability to walk. So the only area they don't touch on is declining eyesight. So let's just take a quick look at an instructor who is using it for lower level clients.
Add the other arm, why not? Heels. One more. Change direction. Have those heels popping up and down.
Fits in with the class.
That's right. How are you feeling, everybody? So good. Up on those toes. Beautiful job. You guys are fabulous. Eyes are up. Give it a go. Excellent, everybody.
So if you were going to do a 30-minute seated and standing exercise session, of course, you'd start it with some warm-up, some guidelines, and how to use the poles properly that I'll go through with you. And then you might do your exercise session for about 15 minutes and some cool down. So let me bring you out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the guidelines, and then I'm going to show you some exercises, and then I'm going to let us do those same exercises with music. So you just can get an idea of how you can sort of put them together and add on music. So hopefully you'll enjoy this session. Okay, so if you haven't got a seat or a sturdy chair, please go grab one. Make sure you've got lots of room to move with your poles and sitting in your chair. And I'm just gonna, as Wendy said, use my cheat sheets here. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I need you to shorten the height of your poles. So again, I use my poles on hole number 8. I'm actually going to bring mine all the way down to hole number 1. But you just want to bring them short enough so that you've got a nice seated posture or nice posture while you're seated. And your shoulders are not hiked up. They're up, they're back, but they're not hiked up. So I'll just give you guys a few seconds to get that going. That's it. Okay, looks like everyone's ready to go. So generally your hips are going to, your legs are going to be as wide apart as your hips. And I'm going to put my poles probably just outside where the balls of my feet are. Okay, and sorry, I'm just going to move this a little bit further so you can see a bit more of my feet. And my apologies, I'm just going to move put back on my bell-shaped tips. Okay, but if your client doesn't have great balance with doing some of these seated exercises, remember, just bring their legs further apart and the poles apart, okay? That's how you can make it more challenging as well. As time goes on, you can bring it in closer, but generally, I'm gonna try to keep my, as I mentioned, my legs as wide as my hips, and my poles are just outside where the balls of my feet are. So I've got a sturdy chair. I might use the wall behind me. I've got, of course, sturdy shoes on. I'm again going to tell them, hey, make sure you've got your right and left pole so you can put your hands are resting on the ledge. Let's start off with 3 warm-up movements or exercises just so that your client is using your poles properly. And let's get them ready in terms of good posture. So let's just have you relax with your posture. And now what I want you to do is push down that ledge, bring yourself up. That's it. Nice upright posture. And hold it there. And again, relax. And again, we're going to get you to push down on the ledge, bring your rib cage up, shoulders up and back. And now can everyone here just try to hold that posture if you can throughout the exercise session? I'm going to keep on reminding you as well. Now, what you find is that it will be easier if you come more towards the front of your chair, okay? Again, if your client is not as functional, not as active. Of course, they can use the base to the back of the chair for more support, but hopefully with the poles, you're going to find that people are going to feel like they have more confidence. And of course, they're going to be able to do more of the movement if they're more towards the front of the chair. Okay, now let's work on hands. So next warm up I would get people to do is let's open up our hands. That's it. Open up nice and slowly and bring them open. Let's give a bit of a wiggle. And of course, this helps your client just get ready so they're not doing a tight grip throughout the exercise program. We're going to get them to push down. That's it. Push down on the ledge with that loose grip. One more time. Open up your hands. Give a bit of a wiggle and push down. And hopefully when you feel in that push down too as well, of course, that maintains a nice posture, but also adds a little bit more core strengthening to your exercises. And the last thing is, let's just take a deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in. Let's keep on breathing throughout the exercises. Okay, so that's an example of how we would usually start up the group.
Yeah.
And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a bunch of different seated exercises, and then we will do them to music. So the first one is, let's just start off with an easy stroll. Let's just get warmed up with bringing up our feet. That's it. So we call this the stroll. Get your body warmed up. Let's move this now into the march. Let's just bring our legs a little bit higher. Now we're going to bring out to fanning our arms out. So every time we lift up our feet, let's bring our arms out. That's it. And hopefully the poles are really supporting them to keep themselves upright and also really facilitating that movement of bringing their arms out further as well. Okay, and again, now we're going to lean forward. We've got the poles, bring the poles more out forward to the side, forward and back. That's it. And remember, lean forward. They've got that trunk control there, so hopefully they can go a little bit further than what they usually can. And we're going to lean back. That's it. And how about we do this one called I've called this crisscross. So we're just going to cross our feet over. So we're going to cross, and then we're going to cross them over in the other direction. That's it. That's it. Okay. And now put your poles on top of your lap. Put your hands on top. And we're going to do a movement called the kayak. So we're going to dip down to the side and to the other side. And now we're working on weight shifting and balance. Of course, weight shifting is amazing for balance. And because I don't have the poles on the ground, what you may have noticed is that I actually brought my feet out wider. So again, they don't have the poles to support them. So you may want to tell them to bring their legs out a lot wider. And we'll do a thing we call the twist. So poles out front, and we're just going to bring them back and forth. That's it. So we're going to point the handles, tips, and we can go up and we can go down. Great. And then we're going to have our poles back out in front. We're going to do an exercise we call spinning the top. Stirring the pot. Spinning tops are next. So again, support out in front for your client to lean forward and to do a small circle. We are now weight shifting forward, side, back, to the side in all different directions. If they're able, of course, you can challenge them by going further, reaching out further to the side, to the back. That's it. You can go in the opposite direction. How about we do a thing called the spinning tops? We're going to bring the two poles both in a circle. That's it. That's it. And our movement called the breaststroke. So poles are together. Again, I'm going to put my feet wider apart because I don't. And I'm going to lean forward, bring the poles around as if I'm doing the breaststroke. Forward, around. I think making a lot of these movements seem more like functional movements, I think really helps with imagery. And they found that that really helps out with people doing different movements as well. So that's why we kind of talk about doing the kayak, the stirring the pot. Now we're doing the breaststroke. You kind of imagine kind of swimming through. Let's do the reverse breaststroke. Bring it towards us. Okay, last one. We're going to do canoeing now. So we're up in Canada here, so we've got to. We're known for our canoes. So lean to just one side. That's it. And let's just go to the other side. That's it. Okay, perfect. So how about we do all those exercises, but now I'm going to do them to music. So if you hold on here, hopefully we can get this to work. Oh, I don't think it's going to play. Are you guys okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the music and I'll just shout. Okay, so start off just with the stroll. Just going to bring your feet up. That's it, just with the stroll. And now bring it the march. You're going to bring your legs up higher. And let's push them out to the side. That's it. That's it. That's it. And now we're going to do the lean forward. We're leaning forward and back. And forward, back. That's it. And can we do it to that crisscross? Crossing your feet in front and in the opposite direction, and we're doing the crisscross. Let's move into the kayak. So poles on top and let's kayak. The twist. So the poles are out in front, and we're just bringing the handle and the tip out in front. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, and stirring the pot. So the poles are out in front. And we're using it to stir the pot. Opposite direction. How we do the spinning top. So we're putting a circle on each pole, making a circle with each pole. Opposite direction, and we're going to do the breaststroke. We're going to bring the poles together, reach forward, and big circle around. That's it. That's it. Pull together, forward, circle around. That's it. You got it. Finally, let's finish off with the Canadian canoeing. You're just dipping it to one side. We're weight shifting to that side. That's it. other side. Canoeing.
Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Now. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. You know you're twisting and shout.
Okay, fantastic, everyone.
So fine. So fine.
Okay, so now that so generally I find majority of your class, of course, is going to be in seated exercises. But you may still want to incorporate some standing exercises for your group. So one of the things I would suggest, the way that you would transition is now in sitting, get them, if you're doing, of course, this is if you've got a group exercise instead of one-to-one. While they're still sitting, get them to adjust the height of their poles. So go back to, okay, I had mine at 1. Now I'm going to bring it up to 8 again. Can be a little bit lower if you want for standing. And I should just mention too that if you've got a client that's really got a lot of kyphosis or kyphotic posture, you can actually bring them. You don't have to have them upright completely. You can actually just gradually bring them into better posture for walking. But anyways, okay, so now I've got them in 8, and the way that I would transition them now from seated to standing is let them fix their poles, or you fix them for them. And then Wendy showed you how to do sit to stand exercises, but I'm going to show you more in terms of how to do a functional sit to stand when you just want to teach someone the proper way to do sit to stand, more so than it being about an exercise. But of course, you can incorporate this as well. So poles out in front, feet are closer to the chair. And this is a great strategy to teaching people, how do you do correctly sit to stand? Your legs are wider apart. It's all about shifting your weight, right? Shifting your weight forward. So nose over your toes, lean forward. You might even get them to do a couple of these where we hold it, great for core strengthening. And on this last time, let's get some momentum, and we're going to put our nose over our toes, and we're going to get you into a standing position. So a great way to teach the people how to do proper sit to stand, whether they're exercising with you. And of course, that's another reason why people fall as well. So let's look at some much easier lower level exercises than what Wendy showed you. So again, let's work on the posture and make sure, okay, in standing tolerance, push down that ledge. Let's get you up into a nice upright posture. And again, you're slouching, push up. That's it, everyone. Rib cage out, shoulders down. So of course we want the shoulders to be in a good position, but not too rigid. And let's just do some weight shifting side to side. That's it. And let's bring it into, how about we move this into a bit of a hip bump? Can we do that? That would work out with the music. Okay, so we've now done weight shifting. Now we're doing a bit more of a hip bump. Okay, let's do a pole dancing move. And that is, let's get you to do the hula hoop. Okay, so again, poles are out nice and wide if they haven't got good balance, but you can bring them in closer, and that's it. Okay, like your moves, everyone. You can go home tonight and say you did a bit of pole dancing to your partner. This one is called in, out, out. So we start off with in, out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out. You want to make it a little bit more challenging? Do it along with the poles. And let's go out, out, in, and out, out, in, sorry, out, in, and out, out, in, in. So you can kind of modify it depending on the challenge level of your client. How about the Charleston, where we are going to take one step forward and one step back and one step forward and one step back. Oh, sorry. One step forward and one step back, and then the other foot. And one step forward, one step back, other foot, other step back, forward. Okay. So one step forward and other step back, one step forward, other step back. And we are going to do the walk around. Put one pole in the middle, and can we walk around? So they've got the two poles. You're doing that circle, but they've got the two poles to support, and they're kind of just pivoting that pole, that middle pole around. The last thing I want to show you is, and you can do this whether it works out great for higher level clients that Wendy showed you earlier or Laura one, but use the ledge as a way to kind of pump the ledge. What I want you to do is we're going to do the ta-da move. So we're just going to have them, their feet apart, and I just want you to bring them up this way. But what I would like you to do is bend your knees, and can you actually get pushed down on that ledge and use it to moment yourself up? That's it. That's it. And let's have you push down and bring it to swing yourself up. That's it. So we're kind of pumping that ledge to get even more momentum going and movement. Finally, what I'm going to show you is how to graduate with the poles. So first of all, let's do an exercise where it's just about getting your client just to put one foot up. Okay, so for a lot of our clients, this is a challenge, but of course, you've got the poles, you can put them a little bit wider. Now you can bring them in to make it a little bit more harder. Now, what I want you to do is, can you put your hands on top of what we call the palms? Okay, so a way to challenge them is, instead of them really pushing down the weight, just have them put their hands on top. And then you can even have them put their hands flat. That's it. So they're just really using it for a little bit of balance, for nice posture. Now, on the opposite side that I'm lifting my foot, have them lift up one pole. That's it. And down, and making it more challenging by having them lift up the pole on the same side that I'm lifting. I've got my foot lifted up. That's it. And for the final challenge, of course, is if they can lift up both poles. So just a lot of diversity that you can put into your program as you graduate them from not just using that base, but to the top, to one pole, to two poles. Okay, being lifted up. So what I'd like to do is, can you come up with one exercise that we haven't shown today? Or if that's you can't think of one, just show us one that we've already done. So can we just give you guys just 2 minutes? Oh, sorry, we got a question. Oh, sorry, I can't hear. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, wait. No, I have an exercise already.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hold that thought for 1 minute. You will be first. We're just going to give everyone just 1 or 2 minutes just to think of one that they want to show us. Maybe think of a couple in case someone else is showing. And again, if you can't, just show us one that we've already done.
I like to go Wendy.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. Go ahead. And if everyone can do this exercise along with the person, that would be great. What have you come up with?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
I used to play lacrosse.
Oh,
So this is the lacrosse stick.
okay.
Right? Let me, I get back far enough.
Okay.
So you start here, one hand up. The grip is like so. You turn here and you rotate.
Oh, I love it.
This is the cradle.
Love it. Okay, and just want to mention it can be a high level exercise, maybe a lower one. Oh, I love that because you're doing a trunk rotation, and that is fantastic. Okay, I can see that. Terry, do you
Sure.
want to show us one, Terry?
Sure. I was just thinking a lot of my rock steady people really struggle with lunges. Even my like higher level, like they don't just get down in the movement. So just a simple step forward, kind of a lunge movement with having that extra support would really help them.
Love it. Okay, great. Okay, so it looks like you're doing a really deep lunge there. Perfect. Okay. Who would
I
like
have
to?
one.
Okay.
So mine is just high knees, big arms.
Oh, sorry, Pamela, is that you? Yep.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, Pamela, go ahead. Let's see
So
it.
just big arms, big
Oh.
knees.
Yep. Love it. Big arms and big knees in standing. Okay, great. Thank you. And okay, how about Marcy, do you want to go next?
Yes. Yes. Like I said, last week we had our Parkies on the balance beam.
Oh.
So, or it can be on the floor, just walk in the line. So I can see where these would definitely
Love
make
it.
them feel a lot more comfortable. And they could advance from the 2 poles to the 1 pole.
Love it.
Hopefully off to no poles at some point.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Zach, can we have you go next?
Like a cross-country skier. We do this a lot with same side forward and back.
Oh.
And then forward and back.
Yeah.
So that being the same side is the same walking. So it's a long straight reach on both sides.
Oh, wow, I love it. So it really is, that would be great for like dynamic balance too. Okay. Oh, Zach, that's a beautiful movement. Okay. And nice large movements there. Sounds good. Okay. How about you, Karen?
Sure, this would be focus on shoulder mobility. So long and go behind your back, up in front. A lot of the fighters like to go like that. So different directions, but really focus on.
Oh, wow.
Mobility.
Okay. Oh, very cool. Oh, so that, oh my goodness, that really moves your shoulder. That gives you great shoulder range of movement. Okay, we have got Patricia is up next. And these are all fantastic.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a gladiator.
Okay.
So, nice wide stance all the way down, all the way up with one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, very nice. You're putting the handle right down to the ground, Patricia?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to see the ground?
That is a very large movement you're doing. And you're calling that the gladiator? Oh, love it. Love it.
To adapt it. How would you adapt?
Okay. You've seen the gladiator movement.
Mhm.
And sorry, I think we've got everyone. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, fantastic work, everyone. And you can kind of see, you can basically almost take any type of exercise. Really, that's what you've kind of, seen today, is that you can actually take almost any exercise and modify it with poles. Oh, sorry, Terry, did we get you? Are you, okay, sorry, I thought you were trying to show us another one there. Okay, okay. Okay, so we also did how to progress. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about your classes for your lower level clients. So in our manual, it's a less active older adults. So that would be sort of your same equivalent. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just
Do you want like small peaches?
oh, we'll just get someone on mute there. So basically, as I mentioned, all the guidelines, there's some checklists in your manual too that you'll want to kind of review before you start doing a group, as well as that's an additional handout that we've got for you as well. So again, you want to think about, okay, what are the guidelines for participation in your group? Always, I find even with your lower level clients, even if you do progress to the point where you're walking inside or out, I would always start off with the seated and standing exercises. And I think one of you guys had mentioned that earlier, but because it always gives you an opportunity to see how people are doing that day, that maybe someone is having a low day and probably should just remain doing seated exercise, maybe needs assistance for standing, but may not be suitable for doing the walking inside or out. So I find too, it's just a way for people to get warmed up, getting used to coordinating with the poles more and working with them, but also a way for you to assess how they're doing that day. And if you are going to bring them outside, I know for a lot of you, you don't bring your lower level group outside, but if you are going to bring them outside, I still would teach them inside first if you can, because there's less distractions. It's a level ground. People with Parkinson's, as you know, really need to focus. And if they can focus on really, this is kind of a dual task. It'll be a lot easier if they can learn it inside and then gradually move them outside. Of course, that 30% rule still holds, and you're going to have to think of a way to keep supervision of some of your even lower level clients of this low level group. If you do bring them outside, make sure it's level ground. It's a circle route so you don't lose people. There's places where they can take a rest break. And if it's a lower level class, I would even say you might go as low as 1 to 5. If they're walker users, you might even go 1 to 3 as the instructor fighter ratio. And of course, there's a little bit on the higher end and you're feeling more confident, you could go 1 to 10. Sometimes I know some of the groups are able to incorporate the caregivers or have an extra person at their center that can help out. I just want to let you know, in terms of the manual, if you look on page 24 and 31, that's where you're going to see a lot about the checklist, the contraindications, and of course, the exercises, those taken exercises are at the end of your manual. So I just wrote a bit of a guideline for people who don't normally do assessment and you want to just gauge it by people's mobility use. I can include this too in your follow-up email, but basically just a quick way for people who don't, as I said, have kind of their standard assessments that they do that you can use to determine whether they would be good candidates for seated exercises, standing exercises, or for polling. So definitely the walker users, you're going to limit those. If someone is using their walker full time. Of course, you're going to limit to mostly being seated exercises. Maybe you can do some of the standing exercises with just supervision and assist. And you may want to refer to a physical therapist for determining whether they're a good candidate for pulling inside and out, or another rehab professional. I'm just going to go through now some of the ways that people do the program on one-to-one exercises. These videos were provided by Sanhan Anderson, who has her doctorate of physical therapy, is based in Toronto. She's also a Rock City Boxing coach, power LSVT as well. And just wanted to show you that while this is fairly new in the US, it is recognized by the World Confederation for Physical Therapy, both for strength and balance exercise. So this is some of Sanhan's clients that she does sort of one-to-one exercises, and similar to what Wendy was showing earlier. Hopefully you can just see how it's kind of adapted for that lower level client. So again, using those color circles to add a cognitive component to the exercise as well. And Sanhan also uses it for higher level clients. So she said this one is really focusing on balance, strength, and flexibility. But just bringing up the intensity a bit more, because this fellow has Parkinson's, but he's, of course, in the earlier stages. She also uses as part of adding it to gait exercise. Oh, there's the skipping that we saw, that we tried earlier. Skipping with adding on, though, instead of it doing more like the urban polling, she's actually got him, as you see, reaching up to the ceiling. So just making it a little bit higher intensity compared to just the skipping that we did. Now, another thing a lot of people will do is they'll actually interact with their client while doing the movement through the use of the poles. And what I really like about this is that you can really control the speed, the movement. I find clients really seem to enjoy this interaction as well. This is just two physical therapists. Of course, they're doing it much faster than you might with your own clients, and they're working on some trunk rotation, but just another way that you can utilize the poles, so more with what we call sort of therapy assist exercises. And she's working this for standing tolerance, for coordination and balance.